Right, guys, time to step into another
Punishment.
And it's Bronzy's favourite time of the... I was about to say the favourite time of your whole life. Always. I can see the sparkle. As soon as it comes on, there's a sparkle in your eye. Your body language changes. There's a pep in your step. You can't stop your head bumping. It's like medicine.
Sean, you are right. Yeah, sorry, it's another episode where Sean and I tell jokes that you send in. Send them to jokes@howtokillanhour.com. Sean and I will then tell them. That's what we do. So yeah, Sean, without further ado, would you like to step into our first punishment of the week?
See. Our first joke of the week is from Renax. 3 male friends went to a road trip heading to the north. They were met with a severe snowstorm and had to spend the night in a small town with only one hotel. The hotel only had 1 room available and had only a king-size bed. So they didn't have a choice but to sleep together. In the morning, the guy who slept on the left side of the bed said, I had this weird dream last night that somebody was giving me a handjob, and boy, did I enjoy it. Immediately, the guy on the right side said, well, that's weird because I had exactly the same dream too, and I enjoyed it a lot. With a curious look, they both asked the guy in the middle if he had had the same weird dream too. The guy replied, well, mine was a little sad. I had a dream that I was in a skiing competition, but I came last because I was using 2 different sizes of poles. Oh, that's a stunner classic.
Oh, slalomed right into that one. This one's from Wissam. A king and a queen were tired of managing their kingdom, so they arranged a contest to spice it up. They agreed that the winner would get to rule half the kingdom, and to win, participants had to complete 3 tasks in order. 1. Chug a bottle of whiskey in one go. 2. Pull a tooth from a ferocious tiger locked in a room. 3. Impress a woman with their skills. Many tried. Some passed out after the first task. Others limped out of the tiger's room, missing a limb, and most just gave up. A drunk man showed up and then said, hey, I'm here for the free whiskey. The king explained that this was in fact part of 3 challenges, and the whiskey was just one of the 3 challenges, and that he had to attempt them all. The drunk said, if there's whiskey, I'm in. He downed the whiskey in 3 seconds, stumbled into the tiger's room, and after a series of terrifying roars and screams, silence fell. Finally, the door creaked open, and the man, bruised and bloodied, stumbled out and slurred, all right, now where's that lady whose tooth I'm supposed to pull out? Hey.
This one is from Miss Moodley.
Okay.
So, I hosted an origami workshop last week and I misplaced Dwayne Johnson's cutting tools. Can't believe I lost the rocks, paper, scissors. That's a good one. I like it.
That's a good one.
Thanks, Miss Moodley.
There we go. This one's from Grace. Did you hear about the Olympic triathlete who adopted 3 orphan children, Mark, Seth and Anya? The kids were upstairs playing whilst the dad was watching the news, and he saw a local dam had broken and a massive flood was heading towards town. Being the good Samaritan he was, he went into the town to help save the people but wanted his kids to get to safety first. So he ran to the bottom of the stairs and shouted, Anya, Mark, get Seth, go!
I only got it because of the Anya, and I was like, oh, hold on a minute. This one is from Gary.
Man like Gary.
A man visited his doctor, and the doctor checked him over before commenting. You look like you get a fair amount of exercise. The man replied, oh yeah, in fact, just the other day I walked 5 miles over rugged terrain. Then I waded along the edge of a lake, pushing my way through thistles and sliding down sandy slopes. The doctor was impressed. Well, you're certainly a dedicated outdoor enthusiast, the man replied. Not really, Doc, just a really bad golfer. Oh, I can relate. Jeez. Thanks, Gary.
Hey, shout out to our great golfers out there.
And the not so great
golfers out there. Right. Dorothy and Edward were having their usual afternoon gossip session. Dorothy leaned in, eyes wide with curiosity. Edna, that charming George Johnson asked me out on a date. I know you went out with him last week, so I wanted to get your honest opinion before I say yes. Edna took a deep breath and started spilling the tea. Well, Dorothy, I have to say, The man knows how to make a woman feel special. He showed up at exactly 7 p.m. dressed like a true gentleman, a sharp suit, polished shoes, and the works. And guess what? He bought me the most beautiful bouquet of flowers. And then we got downstairs and there was a limousine waiting. A limousine, Dorothy, with a uniformed chauffeur. I felt like a queen. He took me to the fanciest restaurant in town. We had lobster, champagne, and the most divine dessert. And after that, we went to see a fabulous show. Oh, Dorothy, I had such a good time. I thought I might just die from happiness. But then we got back to my apartment and suddenly George turned into a wild animal. We both went absolutely crazy. He ripped off my brand new expensive dress and we, twice. Dorothy gasped, clutching her pearls. For goodness, Edna, are you telling me I shouldn't go out with him? Edna patted Dorothy's hand with a mischievous grin. Oh no, dear. I'm just saying, if you go out with him, wear an old dress.
Woo! Fair enough.
All right.
Silly Sam was hired to paint stripes down the middle of a long road. The instructions were simple. Paint at least 4 miles per day and you get to keep your job. On the first day, Sam absolutely crushed it. 8 miles of perfectly straight lines. The boss was stunned. Wow, he exclaimed, you are incredible. The second day, Sam slowed down a bit but still met the requirement, painting exactly 4 miles. Not record-breaking, but solid work. By the third day, however, things took a turn. Sam only managed 2 miles. The boss scratched his head, but decided not to do anything. Then came day 4. Sam barely scraped out 1 mile. Frustrated, the boss finally pulled Sam aside and said, "Hey, what's going on?" he asked. "You started off like a superstar. Why are you slowing down so much?" Sam, who was sweating profusely, exhaled dramatically, said, "Well, duh, I'm getting farther and farther away from the paint bucket."
Silly Sam.
Oh,
Silly Sam.
What is he like?
What are they like? Who knows?
What are they
like, bruv?
Sorry.
There you go. Right, back to a classic, Sean.
Okay.
A woman finally wakes up after being in a coma for 3 months and asks the doctor, "Doctor, did I give birth?" The doctor says, "Don't worry. Your babies are fine. You've had twins, a boy and a girl, and your brother named them." "No, not my brother. He's an idiot," the woman said. "Oh, but your brother named the girl Denise." "Oh, that's a beautiful name," said the woman. "How about the boy?" "Oh," said the doctor, "he named him the nephew." It's a classic. It's a classic. Right. Right, okay.
3 friends had a buddy named Joe. The kind of guy who could find a bright side in anything. Sounds like someone else. No matter how terrible the situation, Joe would just shake his head and say, "Well, it could have been worse." It drove his friends crazy. Determined to finally stump him, they decided to come up with a scenario so dark, so awful that even Mr. Eternal Optimism wouldn't be able to spin it. The next day, only 2 of the friends showed up for their usual golf game. Joe arrived a few minutes late and looked around. "Hey, where's Gary?" he asked. One of the friends sighed and said, "Joe, haven't you heard? Yesterday, Gary came home at 5 p.m, found his wife in bed with another man. In a fit of rage, he shot them both and then turned the gun on himself." Joe froze, silent for a moment. Then he slowly nodded and said, "Man, that's awful, but it could have been worse." The 2 friends stared at him in shock. "Joe, how could it possibly be worse? Gary's dead, for God's sake." Joe looked up, completely serious. "Well," he said, "if he'd come down a couple of hours earlier, I'd be dead now."
Oh, timing. Boy, that's a good one. Sorry, I like that. Right. Silly Sam was visiting Louisiana and had their heart absolutely set on a pair of authentic alligator shoes. But after browsing the high-end boutiques of New Orleans, they were appalled at the prices. $600 for shoes, they huffed. No way. Storming out of the last shop, they muttered, "I'm going to get my own gator, thank you very much." Later that day, as the sun dipped low and the cypress trees cast long shadows, the shopkeeper from earlier happened to be driving home along a back road near the swamp. Out the corner of their eye, something caught their attention. There, waist deep in murky water, was Silly Sam, mud on their boots and a shotgun resting confidently in their hands. A massive alligator was slowly creeping toward them. Before he could even process what he was seeing, he saw Sam fire one clean shot. The gator dropped. Sam waded over, grabbed it by the tail, and with surprising strength, dragged it up the embankment where there were several other alligators already lying in a neat little row. The shopkeepers stared wide-eyed as Sam wiped their brow, looked down at the latest catch, and threw their hands up in the air with an exasperated groan. "Damn it, this one's barefoot as well."
I did not see that. I didn't see that one coming.
There you go.
An older couple had made it to the final round of their golf's annual championship, a tradition they'd shared for years. The match was tight, full of friendly jabs and competitive tension. And now it all came down to the final playoff hole. The wife had a 6-inch putt to win it all. She stepped up to the ball, heart pounding, hands trembling, just enough to make her hesitate. She lined it up, gave it a gentle tap, and missed. On the drive home, the silence in the car was thick enough to cut with a 9-iron. Finally, the husband, still stewing, muttered, "I can't believe you missed that putt. It wasn't any longer than my privates." Without missing a beat, his wife turned to him with a sweet, serene smile and said, "Yes, dear, but it was much harder." Low blow.
Literally. Oh man, it's gonna be a quiet rest of the drive home, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, cool. I took my 8-year-old daughter to the office on Take Your Daughter to Work Day, but then when we walked into the office, she started to cry. As concerned staff gathered around her, I asked her what was wrong, and she said, "Daddy, where are all of the clowns that you said you work with?"
Oh yeah, that's one of my favourites. I love that.
Come on.
This one is from Finn. What do you call a melon who wants to run away with his lover and marry her but isn't able to because his work and family are holding him back?
I don't know. What do you call a melon who wants to run away with their lover but isn't able to because work and family is holding them back?
A cantaloupe.
Sorry for the edit. I don't know. That's better. My wife just confessed that she broke my favourite lamp. I don't think I'll be able to look at her in the same light.
Oh, God. This is from Man Like Jeff. While hiking through the woods, I came upon an old suitcase laying open with 3 baby foxes in it. I immediately called Animal Rescue for help. They asked me if the foxes were moving and I replied, "I'm not sure, but that would explain the suitcase." I love it. I'm putting it up there with my favourites.
Women always seem so impressed when I tell them I earn 7 figures per year, but they get so disappointed when I show them my Action Man collection.
Oh. A man is in a hotel lobby. He wants to ask the clerk a question. As he turns to go to the front desk, he accidentally bumps into a woman beside him. And as he does, his elbow goes into her breast. They are both startled. And he says, "Ma'am, if your heart is as soft as your breast, I know you'll forgive me." She replies, "If your private's as hard as your elbows are, I'm in the penthouse." Touché.
Room for one, please. Oh, yeah. Okay, Sean. That's it, man. Look, we got to get out of here, man. It has been another week of
Punishment.
Listen, guys, want to send your jokes in jokes@howtokillanhour.com. We're going to try and work out a more streamlined way of getting these jokes to us, but I think good old classic email is good so far. Make sure you follow us on all socials @howtokillanhour everywhere. And that's it, I think, really, until next time. We've got lots of ways to kill time. Also, if you guys are interested in us trying out ways of killing time, let us know as well, man. But anyway, we'll see you next time.
Peace.
Insider.